Hello, New York. And thank you to the Transform team for having us here. And actually, thanks to the Transform team for putting up this whole conference. Guess nobody's thanked you for that before. And the awards and the magazine and everything in all those years. Doing a great job. We're here today, as you said, exactly explaining the development of the Amica sonic branding. And it was a collaborative effort. We did it, obviously, with Amica and with their lead advertising agency, Mother, here from New York, and us at Why Do Birds, and that's Raven from Why Do Birds, me, Alex, and we have Kristen from Amica. And I'll hand it over to Kristen to say a few words about the brand.
Yes, just wanted to take a moment to introduce you, and I'm going to date myself a little bit here and take you back in time. So in 2002, in the spring, I was a college senior, ready to graduate without a job. So I had walked into this huge convention center with hundreds of employers, started with the A's, they were in alphabetical order, and I had a great conversation with this insurance company, Amica, who I had never heard of. But I was 18, 19, or 20 at the time. So I figured I'd call my father. He had worked in insurance for 20 years at that point, and I'm like, he'll know. And so I said, they invited me for an interview, what do you think? He's like, I've never heard of them. And I said, oh, okay, I'm gonna keep on moving. Within an hour, he was calling me back saying, take that interview. He's like, I've called around. If you get in here, you're super lucky. I'm like, how is there this disconnect? So I took the interview. It was for the next day, went home and started to research. And I'm like, all right, this company's been around since 1907. They've been around for a long time. They've won tons of awards. They're one of the most award-winning brands in the industry. Great for financial stability. Their customer retention is like second to none. I'm like, how does nobody know this brand? And so I've come to decide it's like kind of the best kept secret, but there's a good reason why Amica wasn't known. For the first 90 years of the company's history, we did not advertise at all. It was started as a company owned by its customers and around the premise of providing the best service to the best risks. And it was spread only by word of mouth. So you needed to get a referral from a customer in good standing in order to get in. So it was a little bit of a club-like mindset. And by the time I was graduating in 2002, Amica had only been advertising for about 4 years. So that's why they had never been heard of, but the people who knew. So fast forward 15 years, I find myself in Amica's communications, then in our marketing group. And so our goal is to make sure that's not the case anymore. I know a lot of people aren't from the US here. The insurance industry in the US is huge and extremely competitive, massive advertising spend. And we're not a big player in that industry. So we have to punch way above our weight in order to make an impact. And so, you can forward one. In 2022, we partnered with Mother New York to kind of revamp the brand and try to grow. So we came forward with new marketing, our empathy campaign, our new logo. We had all the look and feel things going for us. We know our voice. And we had that really strong brand platform and customer loyalty to go on. But in order to kind of take that to the next level, we knew we wanted to do a sonic brand. We really had to pull every lever available to us to try to break through in that space and grow. So that's where we landed with Why Do Birds? And they turned out to be the right partner for us because we came out with something really special here that we're going to walk you through.
Thank you. Okay, so the big question for us was where to start. The first thing that we did is had a look at the competitive landscape to see, okay, who else is out there in the insurance business, and do they maybe have a sound? What do they look like? What do they sound like? So we encountered jingles, and more jingles, and very loud, very proud, and sticky, attention-grabbing, reaching out for you. And I'll give you a few examples of these.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Nationwide is on your side.
We are farmers, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
All right, and so on. And all these jingles, they've been around for 30 plus years and probably all invented or produced at a time when jingles were still a big thing. And so we were there wondering, what are we going to do? Add another one, add more to the noise, add more noise. And we thought, nah, the way that we encountered the brand and understood who Amica was, we thought, nah, that's probably not the right way. Which is interesting. We thought we needed to go a different way and connect more to their brand core. It needed to be about trust. It needed to be about care, about human connection. And there's just some of these attributes here in that sonic tonality pyramid that you see. And when we had the workshop together, we heard interesting quotes from the team. And so we heard things like, we're there for you, we're taking the time, we act as a security blanket, or we've got you, and all these things. And the more we were talking, the more we understood, oh, if not them, who else could it be standing for empathy? These guys really mean it. And it's more than a marketing stunt, you know, what they're doing with the empathy term. And like when they say empathy is our best policy, that holds true. And luckily so, as we heard this morning, like I remember the Read Speaker session from Neil, fantastic. And he said, yes, and how lucky you can be, because it's not something that you came up with 5 years ago, say, let's do that. It's something that you've been known for all along. So it makes sense. So for us, it was totally clear. Empathy is at the heart of who they are and what they do. So easy, let's bring empathy to life through sound. That's what we thought. So the only question left to answer for us was, what does empathy actually sound like? And we're the experts, we should know.
That's why we called you.
Yeah, exactly. So we drove home and cried for a while because we had no idea what empathy sounds like. We talked to the team, what's empathy, what sound like, and there was different opinions, and we didn't know. So we dug deeper. We consulted with musicologists and sound experts from the USA, from Germany, from Greece, and only to find out and come up with this answer, that empathy is not a single emotion. It's a complex experience and cannot, unfortunately, be translated into sound directly, which was a bit of a bummer for us. And we thought, okay, what do we do? But the good thing was there are certain musical elements that can activate empathy networks in the brain. As you see, we talk a lot to musicologists and people like that. And so we knew that, okay, there's musical means that can help activate that, or there's certain frequencies that you can use and all that. But Raven is going to tell you a little bit more about the story that we wanted to tell with the sound of Amica.
Thank you. Okay, so the Amica's sonic DNA consists of 4 elements that represent the policyholder's journey with Amica. So we translated call and response in melody, human connection in timbre, peace of mind in ambience, and enduring relationships in rhythm. And now let's look behind the scenes. So for the first sonic DNA element, we wrote a 7-note motive to represent a call and response moment. The first 5 notes, they capture the tension of the policyholder's call, while the last 2 notes deliver Amica's response, warm, empathetic, and uplifting. For the second sonic DNA element, we built a custom synthesizer instrument that is made of layered human voices. So it mimics the feel of real conversation, calm, clear, and reassuring. So no jingle, just trust, authenticity, and a truly human sound. For the third sonic DNA element, we shaped a rich ambience made of pads and subtle sound effects that almost feel like an auditory embrace. So what we've tried to do here is to provide the policyholders with the peace of mind that they deserve on an auditory level. for the final sonic DNA element, we crafted a steady, ongoing, a driving rhythm, a pulse that almost feels confident, stable, but also timeless at the same time, just like the enduring relationships the policyholders have with Amica. And now it's time to bring the creative vision to life and put all 4 sonic DNA elements into practice in the brand music masterpiece. And let's experience how they translate. And thank you. And finally, the Amica Sonic logo. It's a logo that listens and moves and lasts. At its core, you can hear the call and response leitmotif. It's very simple, it's memorable, but most of all, it's empathetic. And the logo's legato movement gracefully mirrors Amica's animated A, almost like a conductor guiding an orchestra or a conversation. And in just a few seconds, it unfolds sequentially from piano to cello to bass to drums to synthesizers and voice, each echoing a step in the policyholder's journey with Amica. Enjoy. Okay, and now Alex is going to talk about how we can implement this system successfully.
Yeah, thank you. So what you heard in the music, the brand music masterpiece, the 2 minutes, that was sort of like, it featured all the elements of the sonic DNA, and we knew this needed to be a flexible system. There's the ideas that we had on the DNA elements, and we wanted to make sure that they can come alive in all sorts of different spots that Amica will need or do. So there's the first example is a campaign. It's I think it's a social media one, and it's here the sound is dialed down. It's a little more subtle. It's more in the background, and I'll give you the example how the logo easily follows to the music and adapts to what was happening in the spot.
Amica Insurance is proudly customer-owned. We know what keeps you going, and we work harder to protect it. Visit amica.com today.
For us, it feels like it's always been there, like it's the natural ending for a spot. The other one that we have is, oops, sorry, it's the Celtics. Amica is a sponsor of the Celtics, the basketball team from Boston. And there, the sound needs to be a little more dynamic, needs a little more power, and how that can still translate to the music that you've heard before. And now when we think about implementation, the thing is that as well as we do work together and as we like working together, we're not going to be the ones to always create every soundtrack for every spot that they put out. So we've come up with a software solution that enables anybody at Amica to learn that in 2 or 3 minutes. software that you can flexibly adapt any music piece to any storyline that you want to tell. There's no time to go into detail on that, but that's something that they're installing right now, and that will now serve as the implementation tool. And the fun thing was when we first showed our concept to Amica, and there's Tori Simo sitting over there at the table. It was his idea, and we were going to hire him, but he was too expensive to work for Wider Words. But he said, wait a second, there's 7 notes. Don't we have 7 digits in our hotline number? Can't we have the 7 notes on the phone when you know the sound? So we said, well, what would that sound like? So first we created a dummy. And you'll always know that was the right number. We doubt that it's going to work, but we loved the idea, so we wanted to show it to you guys. And maybe we'll win an award for that tonight. Just that idea. Okay, so how was all this received internally?
So as much as we loved working with Wadu Birds and loved what we created together, we're pretty data-driven, and so we wanted to definitely test this out before we rolled anything forward. So we did 2 layers of testing. The first was more of an AI-based platform where we enter attributes that we were trying to achieve through the music, and this AI platform would return with results saying how well that aligned. So we were thrilled that we had a 75.5% attribute match. And look at that, one of the key ones that came through was empathetic, which is, I think, he achieved the goal, which is amazing. But it also came through as more modern, reassuring, with a premium feel to it and more uplifting. So that felt like we were definitely on the right track and creating something that represents the role we play in our customers' lives. And then once we had finished that and the Sonic logo was completed, we tested again with live humans. And so we did a study in the US with customers who look like our customers. And we were happy again that it performed excellent. The Sonic logo resonated very well with all of our audiences. It performed above benchmark, and it came out actually as very memorable in the top 4% of the 135 brands in the US with sounds. So we were very thrilled with the testing results, and then came kind of our harshest critics. We presented it to our employees and to our board of directors, and they love it. They absolutely love it. I think it brought them kind of a sense of pride. We presented it recently at a leadership conference that we had, and there were like gasps in the room. I think, Alex, you hit it on the head when you said it felt like it was always there, and it felt very natural, so I think we know it's a fit. And now it has just gone out into market in the past week or so, and we look forward to using the software to bring it into both our internal culture and our marketing. So it's been very good so far.
Yeah.
And so this is just some of the places we might incorporate it in events, in our mobile app, in our sponsorships, our website. Really, the more we can drive it home and get it out there, I think the more influential it'll be.
Yes, we're very excited about this, and we're going to leave you again, because you're all being branded right now, and you'll never forget what you heard. So we're going to play the Sonic logo one more time. So maybe it'll be just as sticky as all those other jingles in the market.
Right, that's right.
Sort of perplexing. I think I'm right in saying, Kristen, you're based in, you're here on the East, in Rhode Island, is that right?
Rhode Island, yes.
And Raven, you're based here in New York. Mother, the agency that you used for the rebrand, they're here in New York. Why did you, we know Alex is good, he's kind of been in the awards a few times, but what was it about using a European agency? Why did you go down that path?
Yeah, this actually wasn't our first go at trying to do this. But what we found, I honestly started researching award-winning Sonic brand campaigns and came across Wadu Birds, and I just kind of fell in love with their approach. It was kind of what we do for our customers. It's taking the time to really understand what you're trying to create. And as I went through case study after case study on their site, the time was there, the interest was there, and the strategy behind it was there. So they kind of checked all the boxes, and so we added them to the list, and they just won out, and it was a great fit for us.
Hey, I'm Sid with Read Words. I'm curious. To me, the masterpiece has a bit of a bittersweet feel, at least in the beginning, and there's like, which is not usually an emotion a brand tends to cue, and that, for me, it really works. And I'm just curious about your thoughts on bringing in emotions that are not super typical within the branding space.
I can say a little bit. I started my career with Amica as an adjuster, which means I was the person who would go out after the loss. So I've stood on people's front lawns as their houses burned down with them, or after serious accidents. There's a bittersweet element to insurance. It comes in the moments in your life when something bad happens. And our goal there is to restore that peace of mind. So having that slight bittersweet element in there, I think is strategic because it's real. And it's not all fun and jokes and mascots whenever something actually happens to you.